Morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the session of AWS Cloud Computing. So, in
Very
this
good morning.
session, yeah, we will discuss about AWS certification, AWS Solution Architect Associate C03 certification, and its training. So, this is actually new certification. It's a latest certification which is offered by Networking Kings. And in this session, we are going to start first of all some basics about cloud computing, and then later on we'll talk about some demonstration to explain that how actually AWS is simple. So you might have heard about AWS. Now AWS is not an unfamiliar; it's a popular name in the field of cloud computing. AWS is a cloud platform, and it stands for Amazon Web Services. As we know, cloud computing is for every use these days, especially in the field of IT. So as we know, the cloud computing is for every use. Even all major companies either migrated their physical infrastructure over the cloud, or they are in a process. So, and such kind of changes are being seen because of advantages of cloud computing, because now people are leaving, they are not maintaining their own data centers, they are not creating new their own data centers. Now either they are working on AWS, or means cloud computing, or they are working on some hybrid cloud computing. It means here one thing is very clear: cloud computing is now necessary to learn for everyone, and for every IT professional or people somehow connected with the cloud services. Nowadays, the cloud computing is being used almost in every field. So some good example we can take, we can see the use of cloud computing in education, IT infrastructure, software development, in entertainment industry, e-commerce, medical field, research and development, and we can take many other fields, right? In addition, with the help of cloud computing, it would be easier for us to implement and use fields like artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoTs, where huge data is required. And in AWS, we have number of specific services to use in actually the modern technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning. So this statement straightforward explains that the AWS is significant to start your career in means AWS in cloud computing. Okay, the first of all, we need to discuss about the agenda. What is the agenda of this session today? We will talk about little bit about cloud computing because we don't have much time. So I will give a little brief introduction about cloud computing. What is the scope of cloud computing? Why AWS? Why to choose AWS? There are some significant points. So definitely you will encourage yourself to start your career with Amazon Web Services. This is the biggest platform in the field of public cloud environment. And then I will give some demonstration. Let's say what I'm doing, I'm including actually 3 demos here: demo 1, demo 2, demo 3. And in these 3 demos, I will explain that how you can host a website with the 3 different methods, right? So sometimes the server is required, sometimes is not server required. Means with server and serverless, both I will take this. And I will tell you how to launch even a machine like Linux machine or a Windows machine. So I'll not take much time. So if you just stay here, you will see means how simple it is. And then AWS Solution Architect Associate training content, from where you can get all these training contents, and what networking initiative here it is, right? So guys, so we start. The first of all, I give my little introduction. First of all, I would like to give a short introduction of mine. My name is Sanjay Sharma, and I'm a trainer for this training by profession. At present, I'm a technical consultant, subject matter expert, and trainer for various technologies. I have more than 20 years of experience in the field of corporate training, project management, business operations, content development, and as a subject matter expert with some multinational companies. I'm giving my services, right? So if I talk about my technical strength, my area of expertise in IT, with AWS cloud computing, ethical hacking, cyber security, Red Hat Linux, VMware data center virtualization and networking. And I have attained number of certifications. If you see, this is my current certification now. I'm showing only AWS certification here, right? Now, let's say we need to just talk about AWS certification, its scope and career opportunities. AWS certification means AWS Solution Architect Associate certification. It is a popular and widely recognized certification offered by AWS. Just understand it. This is the #1 certification in public cloud computing, and it validates the skills and knowledge required to design and deploy scalable and reliable application on AWS platform. So SAA-𝐍𝐞𝐭𝐰𝐨, this is a certification code. So this certification is designed for individuals who have good understanding of AWS services and features and are able to architect and deploy secure, robust, and scalable application using AWS technologies. So it covers various aspects of AWS architecting, including designing highly available and fault-tolerant systems, selecting the approach of AWS services for specific use cases we will discuss about. Now, just talk about the benefits of earning this certification. I'm talking about SAA-𝐍𝐞𝐭𝐰𝐨. This is the latest certification, right? The first benefit is industry recognition. Why you should have this training? Why you should have this certification? The first is industry recognition. So AWS certification are highly regarded in the IT industry, and earning this certification demonstrates your expertise in AWS architecture and solutions. Second is career opportunities. AWS is widely adopted by organization globally. Everyone knows about this certification, and the demand for skilled AWS solution architect is consistently very high. And having this certification can open a new job opportunity and enhance your career prospects. Okay, and expanded knowledge. The next is preparing for the certification exam requires in-depth knowledge of AWS services and best practices. And by earning the certification, you gain a comprehensive understanding of AWS architecture and design principles. And next is the most important is networking opportunity. So AWS certification provides to a community of AWS professionals, experts, allowing you to connect with like-minded individuals. You can share your knowledge and stay updated on the latest development in AWS ecosystem. And to maintain the certification, you are required to rectify every 3 years to stay current with AWS services and the best practices. And I'm just trying to actually show you, means if you become a AWS certified, or if you become a AWS professional, so you can apply for a different role like cloud architect, developer, system administrator, DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer is for the developers actually. Security engineer. This could be a very great opportunity. These days, we have a very high demand of security engineers. We have a very high demand of network engineering or network engineers on cloud computing, data architect, and the consultants. And you can see the average salary. So it is basically the average salary in USD. So it is in very high demand. Right. And now, let's say I'm just going to start, first of all, what is the cloud computing? Then we'll start with the demonstration. What is the cloud? When we think about a cloud, we think about, let's say, we must have some laptop, or we must have some internet, and then we can just log in into cloud computing and we can do everything. Yes, you are correct. You don't need any your private data center. So first of all, everything is managed by vendor, and here vendor is AWS, Amazon Web Services. So what is a precise definition of cloud computing? So the delivery of hosted services over the internet is termed as cloud computing. Hosted services. right? The delivery of hosted services over the internet is known as cloud computing. That could be database service, that could be a storage service, that could be your compute service, that could be a serverless service, right? That could be anything, right? But it is over the internet and you are providing to your client. So according to AWS, it refers to the on-demand delivery of IT resources and applications via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing model. It means you will only pay for the consumed resources. As per pay-as-you-go pricing model, AWS charges on per hour basis. Let's say if you use resources for 2 hours, AWS will charge only for those 2 hours. Let's say you have a machine, you have a server, you installed a server on AWS, and you use only for the 2 hours in a day. In 24 hours, for example, you only for the 2 hours. So AWS will charge only for 2 hours, and for rest 22 hours, you can if you want, you can switch off your machine. So now this way you can control your billing amount. If services are not required, you can stop those resources. We will see it later in detail, right? Now, so cloud computing is very simple. So just understand, if somebody is asking what is the definition of cloud computing, delivery of hosted services over the internet is known as cloud computing. Okay. Yeah, benefit is really, really great, very big list. If you're talking about the benefits of cloud computing, we have a very long list of benefits like flexibility, disaster recovery, software updates, stop guessing capacity, controlled capital expenditure. Actually, because of these benefits only, everyone, almost every company these days now adopting cloud computing, because here if you have a cloud computing access, it means you have not to maintain your private data center, you have not to purchase any hardware, you have not to purchase any router, cable connection, you have not to go for any building specifically, you have not to worry about the power backups as well, right? So, and you don't need even the multiple people to manage your data center. So the overall cost has been reduced if you are using cloud computing. Today, we see number of cloud computing platforms. We have AWS, Google Cloud, MS Azure, and small, medium, and even large business houses find some significant benefits to switch on cloud because of its less cost, high availability, and easy deployment of services. Remember, cloud computing is not a single piece of technology, and right, so it's a very complex, and hence we can't limit its benefit. We have a number of benefits. So I will definitely talk about all these in my detailed lecture. So the different kind of cloud computing also, such as like we have software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So almost every organization needs to use cloud computing benefits either partially or fully. And according to one survey that was conducted in America, it was done by Forrester company, and it's a survey company in the United States. According to them, they estimated by the end of this year, I think this market can touch more than $250 billion. I'm talking about only cloud computing, just understand, right? So big player of cloud computing like Amazon, Intel, Microsoft, HP, Alibaba, all these major clients, right? These are making huge investment in cloud computing. And AWS is a public cloud computing platform, and it is based on pay as you go pricing model. Okay, so benefits are, we have number of benefits. So it is providing the flexibility. What is the flexibility? The flexibility says, means you can select any hardware configuration for your server, right? So we have more than if I'm talking about only AWS, you have more than 800 specifications, very minor to very on very big scale you can apply. Next, you can choose any operating system, you can choose any platform, you can choose any language. So there is no restriction. So AWS is completely agile, right? Now, one more thing that is in picture these days, this is the biggest advantage that you can't have on your private data center. AWS offers a comprehensive suite of serverless services that enables you to build and deploy applications without the need to manage underlying infrastructure. You don't need server. So if you want to deploy any application, you don't need server. If you want to deploy your website, you don't need server. I will demonstrate you, right? And these services allow you to focus on writing code and developing application while AWS handles the operation aspects such as scaling, patching, and availability. So we have number of serverless services like Lambda is a good example. Means if you want to run a server and you don't, you want to run a code and you don't have a server, you can use Lambda. You want to publish your website and you don't have a server, you don't want to use a server, you can use Amplify. DynamoDB also is a database, which is a serverless database service. Then we have a Route 53 is a DNS service. It's a serverless again. API gateways, serverless. Step functions, serverless. S3 is a storage. You are not maintaining any server. It's a limitless. You can store any amount of data. Any amount means you can if you have let's say multiple petabyte data. Petabyte I'm not talking about the terabyte, right? I'm talking about the petabyte data. Event Bridge, Glue, Kinesis, Cognito, extremely good, and it's a very extremely easy to use. We just forgot about all old days, right? Now the entire picture has been changed. The entire picture has been changed now. So I will demonstrate you all these things one by one. So because of time constraints, definitely I'm just giving a brief. Yeah. So type of cloud computing. Whenever we think about cloud computing, we always think about the type of cloud computing. We have a private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, multiple cloud. What is a private cloud? Your own data center, your company's own data center, or you're hiring someone to create your company's own dedicated data center on service providers. And so private cloud refers to the cloud computing environment that is dedicated to a single organization. It is not shareable, right? It is typically hosted within the organization's own data center or on-prem infrastructure. So in a private cloud, the resources, infrastructures, and services are provisioned and managed exclusively for the use of that organization. This is pertaining to only one organization, right? And this provides a greater control, security, and privacy since the organization has the complete authority over the infrastructure and data. And private cloud are often utilizes by organization with the specific regulatory and compliance requirement. So by the way, so private cloud means this is your own data center. It is managed by you. So you will install hardware, you will manage hardware, you will connect, you will maintain connectivity, you will maintain power backups. Everything basically is your responsibility in private cloud. And another side, so means you have to invest a lot of money, lot of technical skills to maintain and to make your private cloud up, right? So definitely the cost is high, of course. That's why the cost is high. But the another side is public cloud. So public cloud, simply I'm talking about AWS, GCP, Azure. These are some example of public cloud. These are very popular clouds. A public cloud refers to cloud computing environments that is owned and operated by a cloud service providers such as AWS, Azure, GCP. GCP is a Google Cloud platform, right? In a public cloud, the infrastructure and services are shared among multiple organizations and users. Because let's say if you're talking about AWS has number of data centers throughout the world, and those resources, those data centers are being used by public. Public means organizations. So everybody's, but their machines are isolated, right? Their infrastructures are isolated, means nobody can access another resources. So the security is there, no doubt. And cloud services provider is responsible for managing and maintaining the infrastructure, including hardware, networking, virtualization. So public cloud offers scalability, flexibility, and cost effectiveness, since resources can be provisioned and scaled on demand. And organizations can access a wide range of services and only pay for the resources they consume. Right. Now, we talk about the hybrid. What is the hybrid? Let's say you are a big company. You have your own data center. You are maintaining your own data center for last, let's say, 20 years. You are maintaining your own data center. So suddenly you cannot migrate everything on cloud. And definitely few things that maybe you are interested to maintain in your own data center. Maybe you are dealing with some critical data. You do not want to actually load that data on cloud computing. For that, you are maintaining your own data center. But still, some part of your company's infrastructure is on the cloud and you want to connect that. So if you are connecting your private cloud with the public cloud, so that become a hybrid. So hybrid cloud is a combination of both private and public cloud environment, allowing you to organize to leverage the benefit of both. In a hybrid cloud, organization can maintain certain workloads and data in a private cloud while utilizing the public cloud and other workloads or additional capacity. Okay. And what is a multi-cloud? Multi-cloud means, yeah, this also is a new thing the people are adopting. Let's say you are a company and your team says that some few things I will take from Azure and few services I will take from AWS, and let's say a few things I will take from Google Cloud, right? So it means, and you want to connect them each other. You want to make a connectivity among all these. So is it possible? Yes, this also is possible. So multi-cloud strategy involves using multiple public cloud providers to meet the different business needs. It depends on, right? Let's say your client says, I'm already using Azure, right? And I have hundreds of servers on Azure. And some servers are basically, I do not want to actually touch. uh, Let them run on that. But I have a new project, but that new project I want to start on AWS. So what shall I do? So is it possible to make a connection between AWS and Azure? So I'll say yes, it is possible. So rather than relying on a single cloud provider, organizations leverage the services of cloud providers simultaneously. And this approach allows organizations to choose the best services from different providers based on their specific requirement, specific performance, and you can also take a benefit of cost and geographical availability, right? So the multi-cloud environment provides increased flexibility, reduced vendor lock-in, and ability to build resilient architecture by spreading workloads across the different cloud platforms. Okay, so big topic. I do not want to go in that. Now, private cloud is okay. So private cloud means you are hosting your cloud on a your own data centers or vendors data center. Public cloud is okay. Hybrid cloud is basically the connectivity between public and private. And then we have a multi-cloud, like, or you are connecting all the clouds together to just get the benefit of their specific clouds. Okay, why AWS? This is the question. So some people say, so a lot of clouds are there, but why you are enforcing us to join? Yeah, just give me one little answer, right? Let's say you are talking about networking. Just forget about this cloud computing, right? Chhod do, cloud computing chhod do. Just forget about the cloud computing, right? You just talk about networking. Let's say if you want to, if you decided that I have to learn a networking, routing, switching, which certification you choose? You choose CCNA. Why do you choose CCNA? You know that the CCNA is a Cisco certification #1. So Cisco is not the only company in the world who is making routers, switches, and network devices. A lot of other companies are available. But why to specific CCNA? There is basically they are perfect. Number one, they are maintaining quality. They are number one in education. They are number one in research and development, and their certification credibility. Right? Just understand. Everybody knows about that. So if you have a CCNA throughout the world, everybody knows what is a CCNA. Similarly, on the same fashion, if you're talking about the cloud computing, you have a certification in Alibaba also. Will you accept that certification? Will you go for that certification? No. AWS is number one. Why AWS is number one? They have the largest research center. They have largest documentation updation center. They have largest number of services, largest infrastructure in the world. So if you're talking about the AWS global infrastructure, so 31 regions we have in AWS. If you're talking about the 31 regions, let me show you. For example, here we go. And let's say you just write here AWS global infrastructure, right? Here we go. Yeah. How many launched regions? 31 regions we have. What is a region? Region is a geographical location. This is what? Do you see these green color dots? These are live regions. These are active regions. So all around the world, we have 31 geographical locations. Even in India, if you're talking about, we have Mumbai and Hyderabad. We have 6 regions in United States. We have multiple regions in Europe. We have 2 regions in Australia. We have some regions in Eastern countries as well, right? So their presence is very big. And we have 99 availability zone. I will explain what is a availability zone. Within a region, you can have a multiple availability zone. But availability zone is a logical group of data center. One availability zone can have a multiple data centers. I will explain you. And we have more than 450 edge locations and present point of presence edge locations for the connectivity, right? And these edge locations are available in all major cities globally, everywhere. I will explain you in my training, and you can say the presence of AWS is available in more than 245 countries and territories. And we have 115 direct connect locations. I will explain what is a direct connect, what is the use of direct connect. We have 32 local zones, 29 wavelength zones. Incredible, incredible. Means you can't even think, right? If you need a disaster recovery, if you want to transfer data, so because from one region to another region, you can get a speed of 100 Gbps to transfer data. How much I'm talking about? 100 Gbps connectivity speed you can achieve. It was not possible earlier from one continent to another continent. We are not using internet here. We are using AWS global infrastructure. We are using internet to just make a connection with AWS. But if you want to transfer data from one region to another region, it means you are using or you will use AWS global infrastructure. And it is available on very high speed. Right. Okay. So this is one thing. Secondly, we have more than 200 fully featured services. So you will say, so, sir, I didn't get you. Actually, if you see this, this is my AWS management console. This is the first page of AWS. And if I show you number of services, these are number of services. Can you see? These are number of services. So compute is a group of service. We have a number of services in compute. EC2 is a one service. Lightsail, Lambda, Batch, Elastic Beanstalk. Container service, storage services, database services, migration services, networking and content delivery services, developers tool, my God, robotics, blockchain, analytics, and this is machine learning, artificial intelligence, media services, And this is the management and governance, security, identity and compliance. Can you see? Application integration, business applications, Internet of Things. So if you count, total number of services are more than 200. And every service will have a minor service as well. मतलब एक सर्विस के अंदर बहुत सारी सर्विस है. So if you are talking about the total number of services, so the total number of services are more than 1,500. Can you believe 1,500 services? And it is for every use almost. It is for every use. Yes. And it is suitable for all cloud models, whether you are talking about the software as a service, you are talking about the platform as a service, infrastructure as a code, right? Serverless service. And it is providing a complete migration support. The migration support, for example, you have your own data center, private data center. So what you want to migrate? You want to migrate database, you want to migrate storage, you want to migrate server, you want to migrate infrastructure. What you want to migrate? So we have a different service for the different solutions. Even the migration also is very easy. Ab to migration aana chahiye aap. So means if you know properly, so this is the certificate who gives the complete idea about AWS. Because the specialization courses are also there. Just understand. The first of all, you will talk about the graduation, then you will talk about some master courses, and then you will talk about master course means the specialty courses, and then you talk about the PhDs. And that definitely comes with experience, right? So complete migration support AWS provides you, and integrated with the VMware and virtual environment as well. It is not only integrated with the VMware, it is integrated with Oracle, it is integrated with Windows, it is integrated with Red Hat, it is integrated with the VMware, right? So even if you are opening Red Hat OpenStack, it is connected with AWS. So if you know AWS, almost everything is done. You have not to learn multiple platforms. Just understand. It gives you the complete idea about this cloud computing. Next is why AWS? We have a major region. बहुत सारे region. The first is AWS provides the best learning resources, just like a CCNA, just like a Cisco. Cloud computing में एक ही नाम है AWS. If you are just talking about the priority, if you are talking about priority, right? So AWS on the top. AWS provides you 1 year free tier account for learners for 365 days, completely free of cost. आपको कुछ नहीं देना है. The only thing is that you have to be under some limitations. Every service has a cap, right? Every service has a cap, because you are using the same platform which is being used by enterprise people, which is being used by businesses. You don't have a different platform for learners. You are using the same platform. And AWS is providing the vast library of documentation, latest. And that's why I say, please don't follow any YouTube videos, old videos, right? Because what's happening, those services are changed, features are changed, even the screens are changed, number of things are changed. So please don't follow. अगर कोई भी वीडियो 6 महीने से पुराना है, please don't see that, right? 5-6 महीने से पुराना है, so please don't see that. This is a great thing. So there's a great tip I'm just giving you. Otherwise, you will be in trouble, right? Because a lot of it's a really dynamic, and it is very means with a very the fast pace it's changing. And AWS provides the range of hands-on labs. For example, see, you just go right. I'm just showing you. Let's say you are here and AWS hands-on, right? So these are the hands-on, but you can only attend them if you have some idea. See, more than 215 labs are there. More than 250 labs are there. Each and every, for example, let's say this I'm talking about. Let's say application deployment on EC2. Step by step. Do you see? Step by step. So how much time you will take to just complete this lab? 60 minutes. This at the beginner level, right? And you see, coding and everything is given. So that's why you need actually our assistance and our guidance to understand everything. See, or you can say, let's say I'm just taking the compute a specific deploy. Here we go. The same thing I just open, I think. Yes, this is what we have, right? Can you see? Step by step, everything is given. If you want to see in a big way, you can see like this, right? So number of things are available. Not only hands-on, you have a number of projects, you have a documentation. Let's say AWS documentation. You can just see documentation. You have the document. See the documentation. They have changed. Unless this was different, now they have changed. This is the documentation, right? My God. So you have 200 services, more than 200 services. You just see the service. Let's say you see EC2. The EC2 is there. And you have a documentation. Even in the documentation, we have multiple categories. What to use, what not to use, right? And if I'm taking only the Linux instance documentation, so this is the documentation. You can just go back. You can also see it's in a PDF format. You can also see in a Kindle format as well. And how many pages are there? 2,106 pages in the single document, right? PhD कर लोगे ऐसे कम से कम 10,000 डॉक्यूमेंट होंगे, at least 10,000 documents, at least I'm talking, right? Okay, so here we go. And the next is we have a skill builder. What is a skill builder? So you have to you have to create your account in AWS skill builder, right? And if you create a skill builder, you have a complete course outline series, right? So my account is actually registered. So you have to register, you have to create your account in skill builder as well. Number of courses are there. And you're going to find in all languages globally. Let's say I'm filtering only for English, right? Can you see? All these are the courses. All these are the courses, and duration of the courses you can see, for example. But you need some guidance, right? Without the guidance, you cannot proceed it. So let's say this is the course for 2 hours. Let's say I'm talking about data warehouse. You can start learning. Simple. Videos are there, labs are there, documentation are there, and it's all almost free. Everything is free, right? Yeah. See, can you see? Step by step, everything is given. The step by step, everything is given. See, you can just go down. So nobody is telling you, and why should I hide from you? I know that even if you know everything, you need my help, right? See, but what is Redshift? What is the purpose of Redshift? What you can do, how you can create a data lake, everything is there. Okay. Then we have AWS well-architected framework. So this is the kind of a documentation to create, effective architecture with high performance, with high security and less cost. How you can create such kind of infrastructure? This AWS well architected framework document will tell you. And then free online conferences for new announcement. Once you are registered under AWS, we have number of things. And if you just go and see, for example, I'm here. Let's say if you just write a EC2, EC2 is a service, for example, right? EC2 is a service. If you click on EC2, EC2 is an elastic compute cloud. This is a service to manage servers and you can manage servers, you can create servers, right? So let's say if you do right here EC2, for example, not only you can open a service, you can see features of the services like limits, AMI. Then you can just see resources. You can see pertaining blogs. You can see 1969 blogs are there only on single service, right? If you click on this, you will have 1900 blogs in front of you. And all these blogs are recognized by AWS. And if you just go down, you can see documentation. So 32,721 documentation only on EC2. You have knowledge articles, spatial knowledge articles, right? And then you have tutorials, 21 tutorials you have on EC2 only. You have number of events throughout the world. Somewhere the events are happening. If you want to attend, some events are online, some events are offline. You want to register them, you want to attend them, you want to enhance your knowledge, you can just go, and some are free of cost. You can just go and find and you register and just try to learn it. But for that, AWS Solution Architect Associate certification knowledge is required. This is very, very important. Right. Once the architecture is clear, once the services are clear, means you can really jump high. If your fundamentals are clear, you can means you can jump high, right? Okay. So these are the things I was just telling you. Now you just go to the next thing. Why AWS? It is suitable for solution architects. It is suitable for cloud practitioners. This certification also, this platform also is suitable for developers. This is all means also suitable for system operators or system operations. AWS provides the training by solution like advanced networking, data analytics, security, machine learning. So if you want to see the number of certification, let's say you do right here, AWS certification path. See, you can go on this and you can see AWS certification. Can you see? We have some foundation level of certification, which is known as a practitioner. Then we have associate level of certification. We have like solution architect associate level. I'm talking about this certification. Then we have an associate level of certification for developers, and we have an associate level of certification for SysOps administrators. Then we have a professional level of certification where 2-year experience is recommended. If you have 2-year experience, then only you should jump in these professional level of certification. Then we have specialty certification. So after doing AWS solution architect, you can go for advanced networking, you can go for databases, you can go for security and data analytics, right? So for you people, if you belong to networking or anything, you can just choose any one of them, like advanced networking, data analytics, you can see security, right? And if you are from AI or ML, we have a machine learning specialty certification as well, right? So these are the certification. Okay. Now, so it's time to just give a little introduction about demonstration. I will give demonstration. So first of all, I need to tell you how to host a website using a storage service, simple storage service. S3 is a simple storage service. Then I will give another demonstration in which I will tell you how to launch your server in AWS. It could be a Linux server or a Windows server. If I have time, I will launch both of them. And hosting web application without using server, using a service called Amplify, right? So let's start demo one by one. So hardly I'll take 10-15 minutes time and I will finish it, right? And you will definitely enjoy it. Just a minute. Here we go. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just going to host a serverless website using simple storage service, S3 service. S3 is a storage service, right? So here we go. And this is my AWS management console. So when you log in into AWS, this is the first screen, right? I'm in Ohio region. So right hand side on the top, you can see this is the region. So you can choose any region, North Virginia, Ohio, Mumbai, right? Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo. You can choose any region. Why to choose Ohio specifically? There is no such any specific region because the latency almost is negligible, right? So if you want, you can also choose a Mumbai, right? If your client is in India, you can choose Mumbai. If your clients are in America, you can choose Ohio. Okay. Let's say I'm choosing Ohio. And the service is storage service, simple storage service, S3. It's a scalable storage, object storage, right? So first of all, I will create a bucket in this. Bucket is a kind of a container to store data. And just let's say I'm creating a bucket. Let's say nk.28 mail. Let's say this is my website. Okay. Let's say this is my bucket name. And I'm creating in Ohio. And go down. And some changes definitely I will do on that to basically share my data. So I'm just applying ACLs and I'm removing all block access. So I need to unblock it to access my website over the internet, right? This is what we have done. You created that bucket. The bucket has been created. So this is the bucket. The bucket is blank. You click on this bucket, right now nothing is there. So we need to load some template of a website. So where is the template of the website? Let me see. Let me see the template of the website. Here we go. You just copy and you just drag and drop. Simple drag and drop. Just open and just upload. So what you're doing, you are uploading all files, folders of that website. The template was ready with me. So I copied all the templates. It has a more than, I think, 60 files. So it will take little time and it will be uploaded. And once it is uploaded, you will share the content over the internet and you will configure it to publish the website. And that is how much time it will take. So it is taking the time to just upload your data, right? So hardly 2-3 minutes it will take. It depend on number of files you have. So I have more than 60 files. So 30-40 files have been uploaded. So it will not take much time, less than a minute, right? So it is almost done. 13 files remaining, 10 files remaining, 9 files. Good. It is going to be finished. So almost done, right? A few seconds more and it is done. Great. It is done. Now you close it. You select all the content. You can see your index.html file is there. You select all the objects, go to action and share your content over the internet. So you have shared it. So once it is shared, go to properties, right? And very last option that you see is website hosting. So right now website, I didn't use any server, just you're watching it, right? I'm not using any server. So right now the static website hosting is disabled. You just go add it and enable it. And you need to write the document name. Let's say the document index document name is index.html. Simple, and save it. And finally, it will give you an URL, right? So this is a kind of a URL. Even I can paste this URL in your meeting chat. You can also try and see the website has been launched. Great. Can you see the website has been launched within a few seconds? You can see the website has been launched. Great. Yes or no? You didn't require any server for that. So this is the one example. So you can you hosted your website without using a server in a few seconds. And the great thing is, if you don't need this long absurd URL, this URL can be mapped with a real public domain like example.com, abc.com using Route 53 service, right? Now, the second demonstration, I need to launch a server. Let's say I need to launch a server. So how to launch a server? EC2 instance. So EC2 is a service. Using EC2 service, I'm just going to launch a virtual machine. So go there, write EC2. First of all, I will launch Linux machine, and then later on, I will launch Windows machine. I'll not take much time. See, you go to the EC2 dashboard, select instances. Right now, we don't have any instances here. You launch instance, right? You name the instance here. The instance is, let's say, my web server. So when you launch a server, just understand, right? When you launch a server, every server has some component. Let me show you. These are basically my whiteboard. I teach through this. This is the whiteboard, right here. So this is, for example, server. The server need an AMI, which is called Amazon Machine Image. So we are using template of an operating system to launch servers. We don't need ISO images here because ISO images are unnecessary, take time, and step-by-step installation is not preferred on cloud. So instead, we are using AMI, Amazon Machine Images, or you can say template of operating system or images of operating system. Secondly, we have a configuration, right? Configuration is what? Configuration means how much compute resources you are providing to your machine, how much CPUs you're providing, how much RAM you are providing. So that is called instance type. So we have more than 500, 600 combinations are there. And third component of the machine is EBS. EBS is Elastic Block Store. And this is called basically kind of a hard disk for your virtual machine in which you will launch your operating systems and applications. And this is the fourth component, which is an external firewall, which is a mandatory one. Without this, you cannot launch your virtual server. And this is also is known as security group to filter incoming as well as outgoing traffic. And the fifth component for this machine is a private key. We are not using any password here for authentication purpose. We are using keys or cryptographic method, right? So we are providing the keys. So keys are more safe as compared to passwords. So these are basic 5 components to launch your machine, right? So we are going back. Let's say this is the name of the machine, and I'm choosing AMI. Let's say I'm choosing Linux AMI, Amazon Linux AMI. AMI is a Amazon Machine Image or a template of an operating system. So we have more than 8,000 templates for every use, right? You can even launch Palo Alto Firewall, Cisco Firewall. You can IPS, IDS, SAP servers. Means anything, just name. You just name it. You can find that image here. You choose that image. You find all these images under the Browse More AMIs. So right now I'm just choosing Linux AMI. And instance type, I'm taking a free tier eligible, in which I will get only one virtual CPU and 1 GB RAM. You will say 1 GB RAM, one virtual CPU, will it be enough? Yes, it is enough because you are using Xeon Intel microprocessor, right? And high performance computing you are using here. So this resource is more than sufficient. So let's say I'm just going to take this, and in the key pair, you're just going to create a key. Let's say my demo 28 key. For example, this is the key name I'm using. Create a key. It will download that key in your computer, and the key has been given. Networking setting, I'm taking default, and this is the firewall. I was talking about the security group to take remote of this machine because this is a Linux machine. So I'm enabling SSH. And if you want to enable HTTP, you can also enable HTTP as well, right? This is here, we go launch instance. And incredible, the machine is launched. You just count up till 10 and the machine is done, right? It is pending right now. So it is so fast, within a 15 to 20 second, your machine is ready. 15 to 20 second, I'm not talking about 1 minute. I'm not talking about 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. So, but in your own private data center, if you used to launch any machine, that will take at least 30 minutes. Yes or no? 30-40 minutes at least. And if you are using ISO images, that will take more than 1 hour. And the machine is running now. So we have a multiple methods to take the remote of the machine, right? So I'm only using a one method. So on this AWS management console, so on this EC2 console, you select the machine. You want to take the remote of this machine and simply click on this connect button and just click on connect. And see, you took the remote of this machine. It is establishing connection with machine. And this machine has a public IP address and it is done. You are inside the machine. Wow. So this was your Linux machine. So can we create a Windows machine as well? Yeah, definitely. You click on launch, right? I'll take hardly 2 minutes to just create a Windows machine. Let's say this is the Windows 2022 server. 22 server. I'm taking the latest server, right? And I'm taking little better configuration. Let's say I'm taking C4 large. Let's say I'm taking C4 large, which provides 8 GB RAM and 4 virtual CPU. And the key that just created, we are using the same key. Network setting is okay. And just launch the machine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You just count till 10 and your machine is ready. Do you see it is pending right now? If you refresh it, the machine is running. Machine has been prepared. Windows machine. It was a Windows machine, right? And you know that when you launch a Windows machine takes a maximum time. And I'm not talking about a simple machine. It's a Windows 2022, means 2022 server. This is the latest one, right? And how to take the remote of this machine? Yeah, it is a little tricky because you need a password for that one, right? So, but we have a key. We have a private key for that. So what you will do, you simply just give a little time because it is right now initializing. So it is initializing. So once the initialization is completed, and this is the public IP address. Can you see here? This is the public IP address of the instance, and this is the private IP address, IP address of the instance. When I say instance, it's a virtual machine or a server, right? So instance is a technical term we are using in AWS for my machine, for our machines. EC2 instance. EC2 is a service name. Instance is a server, right? We have a both public IP address, private IP address. Public IP address we are using to access the machine from the internet, and private IP address we are using to access the machine within the AWS, within the VPC or virtual private cloud, right? So you select this instance here and go to connect, right? And just click on RDP. RDP is a remote desktop protocol. And here we have get password option. Do you see get password option? You click on get password option here, and this is the key you have used. You basically upload that private key, and this was my key that I used. So you need to decrypt the password first of all. You copy the password and download the remote desktop file and open it. Simple. RDP is downloaded. You open it and you simply click on connect and paste the password that you copied from there and simply click on next. And you took the remote of this machine successfully. Simple. Even Windows also is very simple to launch. Now you took the remote of the Windows machine. So you are opening it very first time. So it will take hardly a minute time to just set up because it's a Windows properties, right? It is setting all the things when you start it very first time. So once it is done, your machine is ready. Now you can configure this machine as a domain controller. You can machine as a DNS. You can configure as a IIS server. You can just configure as a application server. It is done. But even for the domain controller, we have a service. We already have a service in AWS, and that provides a domain controller. Microsoft based domain controller. For that, you don't need actually separate server. Okay, this is the one. So I'm just closing it right now. So I don't need this. We have two machines here, right? So let's say I'm deleting both the machines. So if you want to terminate the machines, if you want to delete the machine, you will terminate, select the machines, and you will terminate them. So those are deleted. So can you see the machines are being deleted? And one more service is there that I want to tell you is called Amplify. This also is a very new service in AWS certification, and even developers and architects are using to deploy applications serverlessly. You don't need a servers to host your website. You can just go down. We have number of options. You can just host your website for hosting. You get started. For example, you have a code commit repository can also be used. You can also use GitHub repository. Let me see. I'm using this authorized to amplify. Right. Okay. This is, there we go. Yeah. A repository, all repositories you can install. Only the selected repositories. Let me select the repositories. I have repositories. I think this is to be taken. Let me see. I think this is okay. I don't know if this is correct or not. Oh, password. I forgot the password. I don't know the password will work or not. Yes, I think the GitHub authorization was successful, and you need to choose this one, and you need to choose a master branch, right? You can just click on. You're simply taking the code from GitHub, right? And you're hosting the website. You're hosting the website. Let me allow the amplify, and let me see. Will it be done or not? And see. Means you had a code on your repository. The repository could be the Git repository, GitHub repository, code commit repository. Means you have from your application somewhere in a repository, and you are taking that one to just host that without using a serverless, and it is being provisioned, right? And this is the what we have. So it is under provisioning. It will take little time. This is the last time you are updating it. Okay, so this will hardly take a few seconds, and it is incredible. Means you don't need a server. And if you don't need a server, you have not to manage a server. Even responsibility, it lies on AWS only. Okay, this is the provision. The build is there, and then finally it will be deployed, and you can just see it. And in the meantime, let me show you one more important thing. I was talking about, for example, I was talking about, yes. Meantime, yes, what you're getting with the networking initiative. Actually, the team of the networkings, every person, every, every, every facilitator, I will not say trainer. Trainer is not a good word. Facilitator or instructor. So they have, ample experience. They have industry experience. So we have experienced and certified instructors with the industry experience. We have latest and updated training content as per industry need. We focus more on practical knowledge. We just try to transfer our knowledge among you because we are from industry. Even you know that I have approximately, if you talking about total experience is 25 years, right? More than 25 years. So you can expect my age experience. I worked with Tata Honeywell. I worked with Red Hat. I worked with CDEC. I worked with NIT Limited as a project manager. I worked with many other companies, right? And I was associated with even the defense organizations like Air Force, military, and Navy, right? Now, we cover best practices and use cases pertaining to the services and team support you will get with online features. You will have a class recording, flexible timings. We are just going to start, weekdays as well as the weekend batches. Okay, so you don't miss this opportunity. You just go and just connect with our team and see what's now. It's now deployed. You can just go and see this has been deployed. Wow, this is your website. You deployed the website. Do you see? Great. Now, so guys, if you have any question in quick. I think you enjoyed the session. Great. And just go. Don't miss this opportunity. We already lacking time, right? So I think you just go and just start. We're just going to start new batches, and you will have a number of benefits. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks,
Hello,
everyone.
hello,
Bye.
hello. I have one doubt.
Hello. Yeah, Rapuddin.
Yeah, just as you say, the latest course we have to be follow. So how we identify? Why? Because a lot of institutes, a lot of videos coming, and even Udemy also giving the cloud computing. How we identify this? How can we
Udemy
compare?
is not a Udemy is not an institute. Udemy is a video library, Rafuddin.
Yeah,
It's a
yes,
video
yes,
library. Yeah. So there is a difference between the trainer. On Udemy, you don't get any trainer who is coming and teaching you. You are seeing only videos, recorded videos over there, right?
yes,
And you don't have any
exactly.
question. You cannot speak to anyone. See,
Yes,
see, you simply just go there, AWS solution architect associate. That's why I just explain you everything here. And that's why I was not hiding anything. It's a good, you just go and see. This is your guide, and you have the number of services. These are the domains we are just going to teach, right? This is the latest by AWS. This is the latest by AWS. You're going to see, we are
yeah.
just going to
This
teach
is
all
this
this.
is course contents.
This is the course content, right? This is the course content. This is the course content. Are you getting me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
So we are following the same, and we are increasing the duration of the class also. So earlier we had a class with less than 36 or 35. Now we are taking more than 40 hours plus some projects also. So it will reach around 42, 44 hours, right? So if you are regular, it depend on you, Rafatin. It depend on you. It is, if you are regular, if you are coming, you will learn a lot. Knowledge is not a problem for us. Just tell you,
so
right?
so
Everybody is claiming that is a different thing. Everybody is claiming. Number of institutes are there. right? But still, because you don't get very experienced trainers, number one. Number two, those people are cutting the course actually. The people are not giving in-depth knowledge. In-depth knowledge is very, very important. That's why I was sharing that AWS information as well. So you can even check from there, right?
So the course, actually, I'm from the background is a network and security.
Yeah, yeah. Very good.
So so the course you are showing this this is a common for all Windows admin also, or as well as network engineer also.
Yes, 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 yes. Because this is on AWS Solution Architect Associate level. Your operating system could be anything. You can work on Linux operating system. You can work on Windows operating system as well. You can work on a Mac operating system as well, right?
Yeah. So the network part, when it will be starting?
So once you complete this AWS Solution Architect, in this we have a networking part also, right? In this particular course, we have a networking part also. We have a number of networking services also. But network specialty certification is different, which will come after this particular course. Directly network certification specialty course you cannot start.
So this is for common all who are going to be join.
Yes, yes. This because number of services, everything is new for you. You
Yes,
just
yes. Why?
understand. You
Because
can,
I am not aware of this cloud computing.
yeah,
Physical
yeah. So
computing only, network
everything
side
is
I
new
know.
for you. Yes, you don't know what is the serverless service. You don't
Yes,
know
I am
what
not.
is the Fargate. What you don't know
Yeah.
what is the ECS, right? So means what kind of a
Yes, I
storages
am
we
not
have.
aware of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that. I know that. That's why I'm saying, Rafuddin.
That's it.
So,
Some of the parts
so
you show that it's not I am understand even. Why? Because I am not aware of. I am new.
yes. So once you start it, once you complete this particular course, so means you will have a clear picture. पर जैसे पहले लोग करते हैं ना एमबीबीएस कर लेते हैं द फर्स्ट द पीपल आर डूइंग
Yes,
एमबीबीएस
common. Yes,
then
yes.
then MBBS is a common.
Specialize. Yes.
Then after that you go for specialization. Then you select a particular field. First you do BSc, then you go for MSc. First you go for BTech, then you go for MTech. In MTech you choose a particular vertical. In a similarly,
Yes, yes.
so once AWS Solution Architect is completed, then you can go for security. If you are good in security, you can take a security certification. If you are good in networking, if you feel you are excellent in networking, you can take a specialized course in networking as well. We are providing those courses, right?
Yes. So after this course, what we understand, what we can be eligible to work, which level I can work.
देखो मैंने आपको बताया था, for example, even I was showing you
Yes,
these
yes.
these were the things, right? Very clearly
Yeah.
I shown you. So you can just go for AWS Solution Architect. You can go for system administrator. You can go for even consultant. You can go for the security engineer, because some security part also is there. And network engineer you can also touch the network engineer, because I told you we have a VPC topic in this course, virtual
So
private cloud.
8 course common. We can. This is
Pardon me?
8 courses are there. Eight rules are there.
Yeah, yeah. The 8 different verticals are there in this course, right?
So in this course, you are teaching the 8 rules to us.
No, 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 no. I'm teaching AWS Solution Architect Associate level. Just understand.
So after that, we
So
can choose anyone in that 8.
yeah, no, no. See, once again, AWS certification. Did you join late, little?
Sorry.
No. See, you are here
Yes.
under associate level,
Okay.
right? So once you complete AWS Solution Architect, because you are not a developer, just understand. So I
Yes.
do not prefer to go for the development, right? You will go and you will start with a solution architect. So once you complete this, after that, do you see the specialty courses? So in this,
Yes.
we have
Yes.
advanced networking, we have security. So either you can choose advanced networking, or you can choose this security specialty certification. These two good options are for you. These two good options for you, right? You can choose any one of these.
Okay.
But for that,